A classified document just landed on the desk of the Attorney General in Washington, D.C. Inside, a single name appears 47 times: Elon Musk. What happens in the next 72 hours will determine whether the world's most powerful billionaire walks free or faces federal charges that could dismantle his empire. The Justice Department believed they had cornered him. They were catastrophically wrong. What you're about to discover has been deliberately hidden from the American public, and the countdown to the DOJ's worst nightmare has already begun. While mainstream outlets reported routine government operations, something far more explosive was unfolding behind closed doors at the Department of Justice headquarters. Early one morning, 3 senior prosecutors gathered in a windowless conference room on the 7th floor. The air was thick with tension. On the conference table sat a 287-page dossier titled Operation Leverage: Comprehensive Investigation into Musk Entities. The document represented 18 months of covert surveillance, subpoenaed communications, and testimony from anonymous whistleblowers within Tesla, SpaceX, and X. Deputy Assistant Attorney General Rebecca Hartman opened the meeting with a statement that would later be described by sources as shockingly confident. She told the assembled prosecutors, "We finally have him. The evidence is overwhelming. Within days, we move forward with formal charges." The plan was methodical and brutal. Multiple federal agencies would simultaneously announce investigations into Musk's companies. The SEC would file civil charges. The FTC would issue antitrust complaints. The FAA would ground SpaceX launches pending safety reviews. It was designed to be an avalanche, a coordinated institutional assault that would force Musk into submission and compliance. But what the DOJ didn't know was that Elon Musk had already seen the dossier. Not a summarized version, not leaked fragments. The entire document. Every page, every footnote, every classified source notation. Just hours later, while prosecutors in D.C. were finalizing their strategy, Musk was sitting in the war room at X headquarters in San Francisco, surrounded by his top legal team and intelligence consultants. On the screens behind him were mirrored copies of internal DOJ communications. A source inside the Justice Department, someone with access to the most sensitive operations, had defected. The insider had provided Musk with not just the investigation file, but also something far more dangerous: proof of coordination between the DOJ and political operatives in Sacramento. Governor Gavin Newsom's name appeared repeatedly in email threads obtained by Musk's team. In one message sent weeks earlier, a senior advisor to Newsom wrote to a DOJ official, "The governor believes federal pressure on Musk is essential. California's regulatory strategy will align with whatever DOJ initiates. This is about sending a message that no one is above institutional authority." The message was sent from an encrypted account, but it had been recovered. It was dynamite. Musk leaned back in his chair and said to his attorney, Alex Spiro, "They think this is about law. It's not. It's about control, and we're going to burn their entire playbook." Musk's counterattack began that afternoon. He posted a single message on X. "Interesting how the DOJ suddenly has time to investigate me, but not the billions in fraudulent pandemic loans. Even more interesting who's been coordinating behind the scenes. Stay tuned." Within minutes, the post had been viewed 18 million times. The algorithm that Musk controlled ensured it remained at the top of every feed. Speculation exploded. Conservative commentators began connecting dots. Independent journalists started demanding transparency. The phrase DOJ corruption trended nationally within 90 minutes. Inside the Justice Department, panic was setting in. Later that afternoon, Rebecca Hartman received an urgent call from the Attorney General's Chief of Staff. "What the hell just happened?" he demanded. "Musk knows. He knows everything. How is that possible?" Hartman had no answer. She ordered an immediate internal investigation to identify the leak, but it was already too late. The element of surprise, the DOJ's most critical weapon, had been obliterated. Worse, Musk was now controlling the narrative. He wasn't playing defense, he was going on offense. By evening, Musk's legal team filed a preemptive federal lawsuit in the Southern District of Texas. The complaint named the Department of Justice, the Securities and Exchange Commission, the Federal Trade Commission, and 12 individual government officials as defendants. The filing alleged a conspiracy to weaponize federal regulatory power for political persecution. It included exhibits, email chains, meeting notes, and financial records showing payments from political action committees linked to Newsom's presidential ambitions to law firms that had previously worked with DOJ investigators. The lawsuit demanded an immediate injunction to halt all pending investigations and sought $4.7 billion in damages for reputational harm and economic interference. The filing sent shockwaves through Washington. Federal judges in Texas had previously shown skepticism toward expansive government authority, and Musk's attorneys knew exactly which district to choose. Within hours, legal analysts on cable news were dissecting the complaint. One former federal prosecutor told a primetime audience, "If even a fraction of what Musk's team alleges is true, this isn't just embarrassing for the DOJ, it's potentially criminal. We're talking about abuse of power, conspiracy to violate civil rights, and obstruction of business. This could trigger congressional investigations." Meanwhile, in Sacramento, Governor Newsom was watching the developments with barely concealed fury. That evening, he convened an emergency conference call with his senior, advisors, and outside counsel. "This is Musk doing what he always does," Newsom reportedly said, "creating chaos and playing the victim. We stay the course. The man thinks he's untouchable because he has money and a social media platform. He's about to learn otherwise." But behind the bravado, there was concern. Newsom's team knew that if the communications between his office and federal officials became public, the optics would be disastrous. It would confirm what millions of Americans already suspected, that the administrative state was being used as a weapon against political enemies. Late that night, Lina Khan, the chair of the Federal Trade Commission, issued a terse statement through an FTC spokesperson. "The Commission does not comment on ongoing investigations or respond to frivolous litigation. Our mandate is to enforce antitrust law without favor or prejudice." But sources inside the FTC described the mood as defensive and anxious. Khan had built her reputation on aggressive enforcement against big tech, and Musk was now painting her as a puppet in a political vendetta. Commissioners who had previously supported her hardline approach were suddenly questioning whether they had been manipulated into targeting Musk for reasons that had nothing to do with consumer protection. The next morning, the situation escalated further. An anonymous whistleblower uploaded a 41-minute audio recording to a public server. The recording captured a recent meeting between DOJ officials and representatives from 3 Democratic-aligned advocacy groups. In the audio, a voice identified as belonging to a senior Justice Department attorney discussed strategic timing for launching investigations into Musk. Another voice suggested that maximum pressure before the midterms would limit his ability to influence outcomes. The recording was raw, unedited, and devastating. It was exactly the kind of evidence that could turn a legal battle into a political firestorm. Conservative media seized on the audio. Headlines blared, "Deep State Conspiracy Against Musk Exposed." "DOJ Caught Red-Handed in Political Hit Job." "Democrats Weaponize Justice System." Within hours, Republican members of Congress announced plans to subpoena DOJ officials and demand sworn testimony about the origins of the Musk investigations. Senator Ted Cruz posted on X, "This is worse than Watergate. Federal law enforcement coordinating with partisan operatives to destroy a private citizen. There must be accountability." The momentum was shifting rapidly and dramatically in Musk's favor. Shortly after, President Donald Trump weighed in. From his office in the White House, Trump posted on Truth Social, "The radical left DOJ has been after Elon Musk because he believes in free speech and refuses to censor conservative voices on X. This is election interference and a disgrace. I will be reviewing all investigations launched under the previous corrupt regime. Elon has my full support." The statement was political gold for Musk. It signaled that the administration would not cooperate with any efforts to prosecute or pressure him. More importantly, it meant that federal agencies were now operating under leadership that viewed Musk as an ally rather than a target. Inside the DOJ, the realization was dawning that the entire operation had backfired catastrophically. By midday, Rebecca Hartman convened another emergency meeting. This time, the tone was completely different. Prosecutors who had been confident 48 hours earlier were now discussing exit strategies and damage control. One attorney reportedly argued, "We need to suspend everything immediately. If we move forward now, it looks like retaliation. If we back off, it looks like we were wrong from the start. Either way, we lose." The dossier that was supposed to be the DOJ's trump card had become a liability. Every leaked page, every documented coordination with political actors was now evidence in Musk's lawsuit. By afternoon, sources confirmed that the Attorney General had personally ordered a strategic pause on all Musk-related investigations pending further review. It was a humiliating retreat, though officially characterized as routine procedural recalibration. But everyone understood what it meant. Musk had won. He had turned the tables on the most powerful law enforcement apparatus in the world. He had exposed coordination between federal agencies and political operatives. He had rallied public opinion and political allies. And he had done it all in less than 72 hours. Governor Newsom, watching his potential presidential campaign implode in real time, released a carefully worded statement. California has always supported the rule of law and fair application of justice. Any suggestion that this office has improperly influenced federal investigations is categorically false and politically motivated. But the denial felt hollow. The documented communications, the timing of regulatory actions in California coinciding with federal moves, the leaked audio, all of it pointed to a level of coordination that Newsom could no longer plausibly deny. Political analysts began writing obituaries for his national ambitions. Newsom versus Musk had been framed as a battle between institutional authority and rogue billionaire power. Musk had successfully reframed it as a battle between freedom and authoritarian overreach, and he was winning decisively. That evening, Musk posted again on X, this time with a simple image, a chessboard with all the opponent's pieces knocked over. The caption read, "Checkmate." It was viewed 64 million times in the first 6 hours. Comments flooded in from supporters celebrating the victory, from critics accusing him of undermining democratic institutions, and from neutral observers marveling at the sheer audacity and effectiveness of his strategy. Musk had not just defended himself. He had gone on the attack and dismantled his enemy's credibility in the process. Behind the scenes, legal experts were analyzing the broader implications. "What Musk has done here is revolutionary," one constitutional attorney told reporters on Background. "He's used transparency as a weapon. He's used speed and narrative control to outmaneuver a bureaucracy that moves slowly and relies on secrecy. He's essentially created a new playbook for how individuals can fight back against government overreach. Whether you love him or hate him, you have to respect the execution." The case was already being studied in law schools as an example of asymmetric legal warfare, where a well-resourced defendant with media savvy could turn the tables on prosecutorial power. In the following days, congressional hearings were announced. the House Judiciary Committee issued a formal notice that it would investigate politicization of federal law enforcement and regulatory agencies. Subpoenas were prepared for DOJ officials, FTC commissioners, and advisors to Governor Newsom. The scope would include all communications related to Musk, Tesla, SpaceX, and X over the previous 2 years. It was the kind of sprawling investigation that could consume months, generate endless headlines, and destroy careers. The hunters had become the hunted. Elon Musk, for his part, showed no signs of slowing down. At a recent SpaceX event, he addressed the controversy directly. "There are people in government who believe they have the power to destroy anyone who doesn't comply with their agenda," he said. "They're wrong. The American people are smarter than that. They see through the manipulation. And when you come after someone for telling the truth, for defending free speech, for building companies that push humanity forward, you're going to lose every single time." The audience erupted in applause. The speech was clipped, shared, and amplified across social media. Musk had transformed a legal crisis into a populist rallying cry. What began as a coordinated institutional assault on Elon Musk ended in complete disarray for his opponents. The DOJ was forced into retreat, facing internal investigations and congressional scrutiny. The FTC's credibility was damaged, with commissioners reportedly furious at being drawn into what increasingly looked like a political operation. Governor Newsom's presidential ambitions were in tatters, his coordination with federal agencies exposed and criticized, and Musk emerged not just unscathed, but more powerful than before, having demonstrated that even the most formidable government institutions could be outmaneuvered by someone willing to fight back with transparency, speed, and strategic brilliance. The lesson was clear. The era when federal agencies could quietly target individuals without facing massive public blowback was over. Musk had shown that with the right resources, the right legal strategy, and the right media platform, it was possible to not just defend against institutional power, but to defeat it outright. The DOJ's panic was real, justified, and ultimately a sign of how drastically the balance of power had shifted. The next time federal prosecutors consider launching a politically motivated investigation, they will remember when Elon Musk hit back hard and won. This story is far from over. Congressional hearings will uncover more. Lawsuits will continue for months, possibly years. Political careers will end, and new alliances will form. But one thing is certain. The attempt to take down Elon Musk backfired in spectacular fashion, and the institutions that tried are now fighting for their own survival. The question is no longer whether Musk can withstand government pressure. The question is whether the government can withstand Musk. If you believe the American people deserve to know the truth about how federal agencies are weaponized against individuals who refuse to bow to political pressure, write in the comments, "Musk wins." Subscribe to this channel, hit the notification bell, and share this video with 3 people who need to hear this story. The mainstream media won't cover it honestly. The establishment doesn't want you to see what really happened. But you're part of the movement that demands transparency and accountability. Your voice matters. Make it heard. The fight for freedom never ends, and the next chapter is about to begin.